fight for your friends. Fight through this blight, find the light at the end. Through the age of the dragon, the people will talk of the day they were saved by a hero named Hawk. Take a seat and I will recite you a tale of bold adventure spanning both sides of the veil. I knew a champion, we traveled far and wide. We saw so many wonders roving side by side. In the streets of Kirkwall we brought help to those in need. Word had spread so quickly of our dealings and our deeds. Fight for your values and fight for your friends. Fight through this blight, find the light at the end. Through the age of the dragon, the people will talk of the day they were saved by a hero named Hawk. Hawk, 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 Hawk. Into the deepest roads we ventured in the black. If we had only known what we were bringing back, we felt the fire of every Templar, every mage, caught in the crossfire of their politics and rage. Had to pull some strings and get them off each other's backs. There was so much greater danger waiting to attack. Fight for your values and fight for your friends. Fight through this blight, find the light at the end. Through the age of the dragon, the people will talk of the day they were saved by a hero named Hawk. Hawk, 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 Hawk. Just a lonely refugee, your champion arrived. Round shores of Ferelden fade to Kirkwall's buzzing hive. Rose above the poverty and rose above the pain. My friend became the savior of the white city of chains. Fight for your values and fight for your friends. Fight through this blight, find the light at the end. Through the age of the dragon, the people will talk of the day they were saved by a hero named Hawk. Hawk, 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 Hawk.
Yarr, that helps out. No. Oh, no. We be back at it, boys, for something a little. Oh man, we already got a drink.
Oh. Cheers, boys.
Cheers to a new year. Cheers to everybody joining in on us tonight for a live stream as we count down the end of the year. Got a great show planned for you today, but let's go ahead and get into the obvious. Let's do the introductions. I am the titular pirate captain. As always with me bestest buddy Bogue.
It's me.
Loke.
Yo.
And of course, Mr. Producer.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Alrighty, we are Chef Bogue and the Pirate Captain's recipes for everything. We are a D&D podcast, except for on Fridays and on holidays, we kind of venture off into the realm of pop culture. We know there are plenty of people who do not go out on New Year's Eve, so we figured we'd join in with y'all and have a good time. Make sure we're going to get this obligatory podcast stuff out of the way real quick. Make sure you follow us.
Way to point out that we're lonely sad sacks.
We are lonely sad sacks. Even though we won't get into that. Make sure you follow us everywhere you can find us. Chef Bolg and the Pirate Captain's recipes for everything on YouTube, Facebook. Appreciate everybody. It is absolutely amazing. I can't thank y'all enough. All of you who have subscribed so far and have tuned in. Small channels that get 1,000 viewers, views to an episode is amazing, and we really appreciate some of y'all making some of these videos. So big round of applause to yourselves. You did this. We really appreciate everything you've done. And for those of you tuning in on Facebook, we really, really thank you. So make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoy any of our content. We're going to keep making stuff. I know Mr. Producer's got a video coming out this week. We'll probably be pulling some clips from this episode, as well as I think I'm going to be working on another video coming up this week as well, kind of more going over the Hasbro stuff.
Oh, and the guitar is restringed, so new music may be coming.
Oh, dear Jesus. At least it's better than his food. I mean, not that his food is bad. This is the Pop Culture Galley. We do this as, like I said, this is one where we don't talk so much about D&D. We talk about different things that are kind of going on with the pop culture world. And tonight we have a special program with you at Vine. We ask that if you want to drink, you're allowed to drink. Absolutely. It could be a bottle of water. It could be some alcohol. We each have our own very special drink. Mine's a Voodoo Ranger. When this is out, I got to make a screwdriver. What do you got, Bolg?
I've got Snoop's Cali Rosé from 19 Crimes. And remember, kids, the good stuff's on the top shelf.
Luke?
I'm going kind of tame with just the good old Bud Light.
Alrighty. And Mr. Producer?
I'm rocking a Captain Morgan private stock and Coke.
Oh,
A cola.
Yeah. So, big shout out to all y'all for doing that. So, here we go.
And none of them are sponsors.
None of them are sponsors. Nobody would sponsor us. We'd all be drunk.
Mr. Producer, do you know what dick dingers are?
Not from experience, but yes.
Oh, if you're joining in with us tonight, there are some drinking rules. If you want to play along, here they are on the screen. They are also, I need one of y'all, if y'all can, go pull that and pin that put that in the chat over on the YouTube page if you can, Mr. Producer, which is actually, I think that's not going to be against the ones of the rules. So here's your rules. Drink if myself, PC, rants for more than a minute. PC uses World of Warcraft in an argument. These are really slated to me. I hate that you guys made all these rules and you said, all right, well, we're gonna do that. PC and Bolg argue about DBZ in One Piece. Loke throws shade at the pirate captain. I think that one's just for me to drink.
That's gonna get some drunk people.
I would argue not DBZ in One Piece specifically, but about anime in general.
No, it's got to be DBZ in One Piece specifically, because if it's anime in general, it's very
on every pirate galley we've had, the two of you have gone off on a DBZ versus One Piece tangent.
That's true.
Because
that's
DBZ
why.
is the best anime of all time.
All right, boys, drink up. He's counting it. We got to do this more often. Just make drinking rules for the night and then play the game. I love the game of drinks. Loke declares him the winner of any argument because it's against PC. Bull goes more than 4 minutes without saying anything. Mr. Producer, you are the ipso facto maintainer of that one. Loke's a cat appears
really
on stream. It's already made itself once, so we already drank for that. If you're just joining us, you can go ahead and drink if you want to, or you can wait for it to get off the bed and back on. Oh, there you go. Thanks for the link down in the channel.
Or for the other one to come in.
And anyone refers to anyone outside the stream. So that's any of our friends, anybody that's not the four of us, or if you drop in a chat, it's also anybody that's like one of our friends that we hang out with. So that's what we're going to be doing. Tonight, great show planned for you. Let's see what we got on our topic sheet. Do we want to do... Let's talk about the Pop Tart, because Loke doesn't know about the Pop Tart. And this Pop Tart has gone absolutely viral. And I actually have an inside story to this because I know I know somebody that was involved in the design process of the Pop Tart. So if you don't know, it's the Pop Tart Bowl for football.
Wait,
I'm not a big college football fan.
You're referencing somebody that's out?
Bolg, who was playing the Pop Tart Bowl?
I Look it up real quick.
That was a drink, by the way, because he referenced somebody he knew that was outside the podcast.
That's true. Oh man, that is. Well, I mean, we're about to drink a lot for this first story. So you have you obviously have who was playing the Pop Tart Bowl?
The number 19 NC State Wolfpack and the Kansas State Wildcats.
Okay, so obviously this thing, and it's gone viral on Twitter, and it's really cool though. I love this thing, and it was like this little dude sacrificed himself. It was really dark but hilarious at the same time. And you had the Pop-Tart that went down into the into obviously the toaster, so it literally killed itself. Like, this is like the most darkest, funniest ad campaign I have ever seen in my life.
Oh
And it's
gosh.
amazing. Really? Because he kills himself, and then the winning team got to eat the Pop-Tart that came out.
Yep.
It was
And
oh,
there was
yeah.
a guy down on the field that the Pop-Tart mascot force-fed a Pop-Tart to while softly moaning.
Yeah.
And it was that entire game was just a fever dream.
Like,
It was
two no-name teams, really, and I'm not saying they're not no-name teams. They're number 19, 20 teams. But at the same time, you weren't really paying attention to that. That wasn't the big game. I know the big game was between FSU and Georgia, and that was a shutout because all their top-string players quit, but that's besides the point. This Pop-Tart, like, has gone viral. It's all over Twitter. Like, the dude in the costume, by far one of my favorite mascot performances. He's out there just living his life. He knows he's in a Pop-Tart suit. And those are the best mascots. The ones that just like, they don't really care because you can't see who they are. So they're going to go get wild and crazy. The Philly Fanatics from baseball, he's really good about it. Thunderbug from the Tampa Bay Lightning, he's all right. I'm trying to think of, the Fanatics one is like one of my favorites. And I think the Flyers
Rocky
one.
from USF really wilds out.
You really?
He goes crazy. Yeah.
Okay. But so they end up like toasting this dude, and as the thing goes down, he slowly goes in. So it's him killing himself, and he's like, dreams really do come true. And it's like this crazy, sick, like whole thing going on. And he ends up like murdering himself, and they eat him. And my cousin, here's the drink, she actually helped come up with this whole ad campaign for it. Thank you. So she came up with it. She helped come up with this ad campaign. She pretty much has wrote her entire resume right here because this thing has gone viral on Twitter. Like, everybody loved this thing. And it was like really good advertising. Like, everybody was talking about Pop-Tarts. I woke up the next day and it was all throughout my Twitter feed. Like, it was the Pop Tart Bowl, Pop Tart Bowl. Nobody cared about how bad FSU got beat and all this other crap. It was the Pop Tart Bowl. And that thing was awesome. It was a really good ad campaign. So I was pretty stoked. And the fact that you haven't seen that, Loke, is crazy because he's memeable. He really is, because he did the one thing. If you want to make a good meme and sorry, wrong one. If you want to make a good meme, you just hold up a sign, whether it's like a sign that's empty or a piece of white paper or something like that. You hold up a sign and you kind of like do something like this, and it's great. And now he's going to be a legendary meme from here on out. So,
I think. Sorry, go ahead, Luke.
Go for it. Luke.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't available to do this on Friday, for example, because I've been very sick recently. So I was completely unaware and completely offline.
Offline. Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah. Lots of NyQuil.
NyQuil. That's what it was. I still think you should have taken NyQuil tonight and drank and did all that at the same time.
Yeah, not doctor approved.
I don't think so. Oh, shout out to I wish I could. I can't. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Maybe if I click over here. Oh, shout out to Justin Summers says Bolg should enjoy more Smirnoff Peppermint with me. They miss the old times. That one's for you, Bolg.
That's a shout out.
That's a drink for everyone.
Chat. That is a chat read message. That is not a shout out to somebody outside the stream.
It's a shout out to Justin.
Okay, shout out.
Love you, bro.
Cheers to you, Justin. I hope you enjoy. Really good. Hey, if you're out there in YouTube world or Facebook world, make sure you like or subscribe to the page. If you want to shout out to your name, we'll shout you out and drink to you. It's only fair. I just gotta hope I don't run out of beer before I have to make screwdrivers because I don't have a whole
Good.
lot of vodka left. I'm gonna have to bust into the scotch.
Before we got going live, I poured out the rest of this, so I'm gonna have to change to something at some point.
I have a feeling we got 2 hours to kill. We are trying to count down till midnight. We're gonna try and get into a bunch of different content tonight. The Pop Tart thing was just really cool. I really like that, and the fact that like my cousin has gotten to work. That doesn't count. We're telling the story. All right.
Same story. It's not a
Same
repeat.
story. And the fact that she got to work on that, it's really awesome because her and I we're kind of close in a lot of the things that we like. And she's a big One Piece fan. She's a big anime fan. She's a big superhero fan. And we always enjoyed the same things. In fact, one year for Christmas, the Into the Spider-Verse movie had come out. And I love the art style. The movie's pretty good. It's a really good movie. The music was great. I love the art style. That's what really attracted me to that movie. I just enjoy that, the crossing of the comic books and everything like that. And then she went to go work kind of like in the entertainment industry as well, but she does more with like shows. She was there when I went to go see Def Leppard and Motley Crue for the stadium tour. She worked that whole event. She got to meet all the guys from the different bands and stuff like that. And that's a pretty big thing to have on your resume. And then you also have now that she's done this Pop Tart thing, she's actually pretty much wrote her entire resume right there. Like it's going to go, she'll be able to go to another ad agency or anything like that very easily with the amount of success that whole thing had all over Twitter too. So I don't know what her exact part in the whole thing was, but it was pretty cool to see that she had joined in on that. So let's get away from sports. Most nerds don't like sports. We're weird. I'm a big hockey guy. I know you're a big football guy, but these two
sports jocks, they're nerds.
They are. They really are.
They are sports nerds.
Most of them. There's actually like a whole thing of like NFL players that really love anime, and same with NBA players. There's actually quite a few NBA players that have like Akatsuki robes, and they show up to the games in the Akatsuki robes and stuff like that. I mean, if you're gonna like an anime, Naruto's not a bad one to like. So I
believe I saw a news article just the other day that Twitch and Kick are competing to get LeBron on their platform. I believe he's starting to.
I would give it to Twitch, and if I was one or the other, I would give it to the other one and just let him have it. Like,
it just depends. Is he gonna appear topless?
Why would you want to see LeBron topless?
New nudity standards on Twitter.
Oh, but I gotta tell you, that was a fun conversation that one time.
Yep.
You can go check out our past live streams. They're all over on YouTube. They're fun to watch. We get in with the crew, and we appreciate your comments on there. I wouldn't, if I had to put an athlete out on there. I'm trying to think of an athlete. Like one of my favorite athlete interviews of all time is Nikita Kucherov, when he won the Stanley Cup for the second time in a row. And they're just like sliding in beers the entire time, but I don't think it would transfer very well over to like streaming. I'd like to see more of. I think NBA players are honestly probably some of the best streamable. You could put them on and like watch anime with them because they really, out of all the athletes on the American side, NBA players I feel are a little bit more dramatic than they're not as dramatic as soccer players. But they're still just dramatic enough to like they would really get into like watching anime and they would be over the top and their reactions would be really good.
Well, I think like a gaming stream with AA Ron, Aaron Rodgers, that would be fun to watch, especially if he brings in other retired. Well, because I think this is probably his last year.
It
other
wasn't
retired
his
NFL.
fault that he got taken out in the first game and the Jets were out that much money. I don't know. I don't know, like, who, like, Aaron Rodgers maybe.
Imagine a Gronk playing a barbarian in a game run by Aaron Rodgers.
No, I want Gronk to play a wizard. I want him to play the Swoley wizard. He just comes out there and he's like, I use muscle magic.
I think that's what, 3 drinks now, boys. We reference Aaron Rodgers, LeBron James, and Nick.
I mean, I think it's more. That's more of so much. You're looking too deep into this. We're looking more towards the guys that are doing like friends of ours and stuff like that.
Yeah, like if I reference Nigglewart.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Now that's good. Ah, God, I love a Voodoo Ranger. I stole this glass, by the way. I told you I was
Thief.
to tell that story. Yeah, I stole this glass. I
You want to tell
drunk.
the story of Fingers?
Oh, Fingers the gnome. It's not as good as the moment when we were playing our solo campaign through Baldur's Gate 3. We're getting way off topic. We'll get into that later. Let's get back in on topic. I tell you what. Here's what we do.
We have 2 hours to kill. We
have
can get
2
off
hours
topic.
to kill, but I know there are people that are like, all right, get to the nerd stuff that we want to hear about. Let's talk about Star Wars. Now, I know I think I'm the only one in the crew that really just did not like anything. Even I didn't like the last 3, especially past the first one. And my issues with everything in Star Wars past what was that one called? That's how little the
Which Revenge of the Sith or
no,
he's
it's not.
talking
Like it was after
sequel
Return
trilogy.
of the Jedi.
Sequel trilogy,
The
Force
sequel-
Awakens,
yeah,
Last
but
Jedi, and Rise of
I'm trying to
Skywalker.
remember
Yeah.
the name of it. I like how if you go to
Force Awakens,
Revenge of the
The Last Jedi, or Rise of the Skywalker, right?
The
That was
Force
the order?
Awakens, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So in The Force Awakens, they propped up Han Solo's part into it a lot more. It's kind of the same thing that they did with Bryan Cranston in the Godzilla movie that came out, and that one wasn't even really about even Bryan Cranston or Godzilla, because I think Godzilla was only in it for like 15 minutes. But they propped these characters up to be major parts, and then they offed them, and they didn't have near as much. The Force Awakens, like I think if they would have gone with the story of Finn, I think Finn would have been a better character than Rey. And then they just traveled down this whole path of trying to prop Rey up, and then Kylo Ren kind of sucked as a villain, and we'll get into why we thought that Kylo Ren sucked as a villain.
Or why we didn't.
He did suck as a villain. He wasn't a very good villain. He really wasn't. And I have a way that I think would be really cool
He wasn't
and
a
would
villain
have helped
anyway.
that. But he just wasn't a villain. Like he
Well,
wasn't even an
right, that was the
anti-hero. He
point.
was barely
He
even
was
anything.
supposed to be the Force Awakens was a retelling of A New Hope, and in that retelling, he is the replacement Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So therefore, he was supposed to basically have a similar storyline to Darth Vader, but he is not good enough.
He did,
to be
Well,
Darth Vader.
what they're saying in this article that we'll link, but it says that actually it's the reverse, where Darth Vader starts out the cool, confident, 100% behind the dark side. He ends questioning everything because of his son, whereas in this one he's supposed to start questioning and then ends as the full Force.
The Vader
And Ryan Johnson
story,
said, "No,
the
that's
Vader
not
story
gonna
is a
happen."
story
Yeah.
of redemption, though.
Yeah, Vader's story is a story of redemption.
And this is the story of the fall.
But you have to be somebody to fall first. Like he fell on flat ground. It wasn't like he was on top of a mountain.
Well,
Yeah,
it sits, instead he took a secondary protagonist role. He's not. He doesn't end the series.
Which Vader was
Yeah,
always
yeah.
the main protagonist, even with the Emperor being there. He was always the guy. That's the thing.
And that's part of the problem with the series is they lost the focus of what by
I'm not
switching
saying-
directors and switching stories. They
director-
lost the heart of what they meant to do.
The director thing was really the big thing that really helped tank it. By the way, if you're joining us, we have our drinking rules. I know there's people that are kind of coming and going. We have our drinking rules posted in the chat below or on our Facebook page. Go check them out. We're playing a little game of drinks as we count down the new year. Currently, we're talking about the Star Wars movies and stuff like that. And Adam Driver has admitted that he's just done. And so they've obviously got the Rey movie that's coming out, and he's just not going to be a part of it. I think, and this is me, when it comes to these Star Wars movies, there could have been redemption in them. Absolutely could have been a redemption in these movies had they gone through and actually told the story of Finn. I thought Finn was a more like fleshed out character from the start, because he was like, hey, look, I'm seeing the atrocities of the Order. Like, I'm watching these people kill people. Making him a janitor was like the dumbest thing. Like, why does it? What, you have droids. Why did you need a janitor? You're telling me that this stormtrooper is less than a droid? Like that just already like demoralizes that character from then on out. It's like, okay, we have droids that kind of like run around and keep everything clean, but you're the guy that's like trained in
he was an
combat.
infantry or
I think
a soldier, a line soldier of some kind.
Yeah.
To be in that situation in the first movie, to comic relief him down to a janitor was a mistake.
And I'm trying to think of what was her name. It was the stormtrooper that had the electric like
Captain Phasma.
Captain Asthma. If he would have been something like that, it would have given him a reason of why he was trained to fight, like how he had new combat skills, because he did fight with Kylo in the first movie, and that one was even a little jump in the shark too, because you're like, okay, you were trained by Luke Skywalker, and yeah, is it 4 minutes or is it the rant?
That's the rant.
The rant, okay.
I've been waiting to pull up my points. Well, not even points, more just what I think.
Oh, I'm. It's my turn to. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's why we drink at a minute.
Okay. All right. But it would have given him a reason of why he could fight. It would have been a really good to follow him around and have him be the hero that kind of builds up, and him going after Luke and stuff like that. Probably would have been a lot better. They gave him some B-plot love story in the second one, trying to turn him into Han Solo. Couldn't do that very effectively. And a lot of it probably was just changing of directors and stuff like that and focusing on the wrong characters, trying to put a love story where it didn't belong. Like, there was not... The love story in the first three movies, the original three movies between Han and Leia, was kind of like... It was organic over time, because the amount of time... It seems like they're only there together with like a couple hours, but they're actually there for a lot longer of a period of time. Like when they're in the asteroid belt and they're running from the Imperials and stuff like that. It's actually over the span of a long time.
Yeah.
Versus the amount of time that they spent together in the new ones. But all right.
But what I will be the biggest apologist of the sequel trilogy. I love them. Like I was saying that I liked them, and after going back and rewatching them, no, I love them. There's a lot of good things to like. They do have their problems. Absolutely. I'm not arguing that the changing of guard in between was probably a bad idea. I will say that my favorite of the trilogy is The Last Jedi. It just took the more risks, tried more things with the story, and basically said the big bad guy you thought it was going to be, no, it's not him. Now, what that did was JJ had to then go back and say, well, who can be the big bad guy? Oh, let's just resurrect Palpatine. I don't agree with that, but I understand why he did it. And honestly, any chance to see Ian McDermott's Palpatine is a good excuse to me.
I don't think so. I think you could. I think if you'd have made Kylo the end-all villain, like, you would have probably gotten a lot more people interested at the end versus trying to bring Palpatine back. There was no redemption. You've already pretty much wrote the Skywalkers off at the end and at the beginning. At the end of the first one, when Luke faded away and as a Force ghost, and then Leia, they missed that opportunity. They should have gone back and reshot that scene when they blew the whole thing up, and she was drifting out through space. Like, that could have been a great moment, because that was right after Carrie Fisher had died. Like, reshooting that scene to make her in there and give her a hero send-off would have been great. Like, using a little bit of the Force to save everybody into an airlock, and then she gets blown out. Like, that would have been a great Leia moment to walk away from. And then, look, you already planned on wiping off the Skywalkers off the entire face of the Earth anyway, so why not just make Kylo? Because all he did was fall down a hole. Again, not an intimidating villain, but
that's also part of the problems that things happen in production. Carrie Fisher died. Mark
died. So then why bring her back in the second one when you had time to reshoot it?
Recut what? I mean, they wouldn't even have to really reshoot, just recut.
Yeah, because she wasn't
that sequence because she's like frosting over in that sequence. It just recut the order so it ends with her frozen out there instead of Mary Poppinsing in back to the ship.
It was bad.
But
you wasted an iconic moment to give her a hero send off that people would have loved and remembered forever, because you can't go back and redo these moments now. Harrison Ford's already said he's out. He'll never come back. Mark Hamill, he probably would. He loves playing Luke, and
but they really character assassinated Luke in that series too.
Yeah, they
after they
eviscerated
butchered
him.
it, I just don't know if he'd trust Disney again.
Nobody trusts Disney. Even Adam Driver doesn't want to trust Disney.
Yeah, and John Boyega's done. Like, I understand.
That's the worst part about it all, man. I tell you, I am more heartbroken about losing John Boyega because
they did him wrong in that series.
He was really good in the first part of that whole series, or in that first movie, and deserved something really good. And they really, really screwed that whole character over after the second movie.
Yeah, I'm actually at the point where I think they may need to do a Star Wars reboot.
I don't know. Quit rebooting things.
But see, if they did it like they do like a Battlestar Galactica version where it's a total complete change boot where you're starting from A New Hope again, but instead of everybody looking like they're in the 70s, using 70s technologies and effects, you start with, modern.
I think
the series starts with Vader murdering Leia. That killing his daughter.
What?
So I completely make it a different timeline, different from the beginning.
No,
it could be. Elseworld stories have.
Why try to tell stories that have already been told? Why not try to find a new story? I say this all the time.
Because the damage that they've done to it is so severe that you're going to have to jump to a point in time in the timeline that's so far away and unrelated. You're telling an unrelated.
I don't.
And it can't be back because they've explored back as much as they're probably going to do it.
They're not going to be. You're not going to be able to reboot that. You're not going to be able to recapture fans. It's already gone. So retelling a whole story instead of just going out, and that's what Rebel Moon was supposed to do. But Rebel Moon, they jumped the shark before they even got out of the gate. Because we'll get into that one later on in the night, but you can't just go back in and oops, let's redo this. The brand's gone. No one, everything that Star Wars puts its name to is it's kind of like spackle paint. You're trying to sell me a turd and tell me it's a golden apple, and I very well know, looking at that turd, that it's a turd, and you're like, no, it's an apple. Trust me. No, it's not. You can't. You can't do that.
I don't know. I think the Jedi games were golden apples.
Yeah, but that's video games, and even then,
I personally thought Andor was great.
Andor was great.
Yeah, Andor was great.
Yeah, because it went
Visions
back, it brought back
to
the
good.
roots of what it brought back to the roots of what what it actually is it's a Western. Star Wars was always a dramatic Western. Some of the shots are one-for-one shots of the Searchers from John Wayne movies.
That we should have made that a role. Should have made that. The pirate captain brings up John Wayne.
It's a samurai movie.
Yeah,
it really is. But
samurai and wizards. It's half Tolkien, half Akira Kurosawa.
But you can't remake these movies. It's just not going to happen. Nobody's going to want to go see it at this point. Even if you were to retcon the last three, let's just say you took those off the table. You can't you're not going to be able to recreate anything now that Carrie Fisher's gone. No one's going to want to be a part of all that. No one's going to want to sit there and
that's where I'm saying reboot, because then you're not pulling the original people over any longer. You need completely new actors starting the roles fresh.
But why tell a story that's already been told in a great way and then just leave it at the Return of the Jedi and call it there?
Because the other three exist?
Well, if you reboot, you could start from episode 1 if you wanted at a reboot and actually do it all in order where you're not shoehorning stuff that,
But I feel
might
like
or might not fit with the canon.
I feel like they're already doing that though, with everything that's gone on with everything from Ahsoka and the Obi-Wan, where they're kind of like shoehorning everything in an attempt to try to reboot or refresh or remodernize the series, and it's not going over very well.
When you kill off all your Jedi, and then but except for this one, except for this one, except for this one, you kind of undermine the whole setting that you've set up, that you've killed all the Jedi.
Well, Ahsoka wasn't actually like there, and I'm pretty sure, and somebody will have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Ahsoka was only there because of the animated series. Like, she wasn't actually a part of anything until the animated series, and then because she was a fan favorite, because she was a good character in the animated series, she became part of the canon. Like, it was one of those things that even George Lucas kind of liked.
You know what they should do? Make movies of the Legends books.
See, that if they did a reboot, they could.
Yeah. Like a fan favorite character from the books, Mara Jade, has never been seen on the big screen. I think the right actress bringing that kind of confidence and pizzazz to that kind of swashbucklery role would be awesome.
See, and that might be some of my bias against the sequel trilogy, is the Timothy Zahn Heir to the Empire books were so much better story-wise and made so much more sense than the sequel trilogies ever did. And they left the image of these people that were your heroes from the original trilogy intact, while still passing on to the next generation with the Jedi Academy and these other series where they bring in the new younger generation characters, but still leaving the legacy of the old characters intact, which is, I think, part of what this series instead felt they needed to undermine the legacy of the old characters to prop up the new characters.
It's the Malcolm in the middle thing. The future is now, old man.
You got to turn Luke into, Luke, who was willing to stand up to Vader and believe in him turning to the good side, and in the middle of the battle with the Death Star and all this, can't take a shake a feeling that Kylo Ren might turn evil someday. Come on,
bro. You murked
the most
powerful Jedi, one of the most powerful Jedi in the universe, and you can't take on a kid, bro.
Yeah. He's gonna kill him in his sleep. Come on. That's character assassination.
They really did, and I you want to know what aggravates me the most about it? Mark Hamill went along with it.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill didn't stand up and say no. This is. And because he's gone out there, he's been on Twitter and he's defended everything that Luke's ever done, and he's like, "This is what Luke would have done." It's like, bro, I don't know that you and I know the same Luke. Like, be honest with yourself.
I mean, there are the throwing away of the entire expanded universe. There were bad books in the expanded universe. They weren't all the gems that. But some of the main storyline ones, some of the big ones, were really well thought out and put together. And the gap between, it's a 30-year gap. Maybe they reroute things so that those still happened and you take up where they left off. But no, they went this way and this way with no plan for what to do with it. And then they make all the characters that were in it, the Han and Leia love story that was the heart of the original trilogy. They're separated, divorced parents now who don't, whose son is a shithead. I mean, they don't. Character assassination.
I could honestly have seen like the divorce story working out a little bit, because he was always. Like, as much as he loved her, he always felt like he had that piratic lifestyle of like, I'm just going to kind of do it's. I've been hanging out with my buddy for so long. Like, it's kind of what we do. And I understand that.
Yeah. And him not wanting to get into a life of politics and all that. It's understandable, but you can't do it to you can't change every single character's dynamic like that and expect the fans to accept it.
And it wasn't like it was relative, because I think when they actually had Kylo in there, he was only like 20 or something. It wasn't that he was that old either. Like, he wasn't very old in the difference in between the time of the series and stuff like that. So it's the time span between those series just wasn't enough. It wasn't bad. But I want to go back to the villain thing, because Adam Driver's already said that, hey, look, I'm just done with this. He was talking on the podcast and everything like that. And he's like, I'm just done. And I think a lot of that has to do with how bad Disney has damaged the brand. Like, you could, if George Lucas was to buy it back, he could probably get it for $100. Like,
I don't know. I mean, they make Disney proper IP makes a lot of money still.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Their stocks are tanking because they're not making any money. Their theme parks, which is their biggest cash cow, are tanking, and a lot of it is because they're.
But all their movies flop this year.
I wouldn't say it's all their. Well, the theme parks and the movies don't correlate very often, right. But they do have a little bit of. It's not this massive correlation; it's this tiny bit. But you have this little bit together. By the way, I think it's been 4 minutes, so drink up, boys.
Nope, not yet.
Bucket drink anyway. But you have this correlation. You don't really have the correlation between the parks themselves. It's just because the parks are undermanaged. They let a bunch of people go during COVID. When they brought back, there's not a whole lot of staff to run it. They're having issues with long wait lines and all this other issues. But it's not they're not the only theme park that has some of the issues that's going through this. They're just the most well known. Like Busch Gardens has an issue with rides being down quite a bit. Like the last couple times I went to Busch Gardens, there were a bunch of rides down because trying to get people to work on them or get the parts in has been a pain. But Disney's not making a whole lot of money. So George Lucas could buy Star Wars back for $100 and probably.
They announced a revenue of $89.9 billion this year, up from $82.7 billion last year.
The parks or the whole thing?
The whole thing.
Something seems off with that because they have a bunch of movies that have tanked. And
over $40 billion US dollars was generated by its media and entertainment segment in 2023.
Where are you in that, Forbes?
Well, yeah, because the media and entertainment segment also includes like the Disney Plus subscriptions and
their subscriptions
Disney
are
Channel.
Down. Their subscriptions are so down that they will give it to you almost for free when you buy a Verizon phone.
Yeah, but that contract with Verizon is paying them to do
dividends.
That.
Yeah, and that's probably where they're only making money from. No, it's Disney profitable. No, I don't want the stupid AI generated spawns. I want the fucking.
Yeah, Disney's had a rough year at the box office. So that is undeniable.
Yeah, and it has declined down through the year, but it started the year at the most money they have ever made in a quarter by a long shot.
Oh, I just don't see Disney. And it goes back to like our Wizards of the Coast argument. It's not that I want to see them fail. I just want to see them do good things, and they're not doing good things. But you could probably sell the Star Wars name back to George Lucas, and he could buy it for $100 right now, and probably he might be able to like double some profit on it. But I think it's gone. Like I just think the Star Wars name is gone with so many bad films, bad series.
That didn't stop Star Trek.
Star Trek has actually kind of gone downhill recently with some of the stuff that's come out recently that a lot of the fans.
Oh no, there was some bad period. There was a very bad period in the 80s.
Yeah,
actually, up until about the Undiscovered Country. I don't know if you've ever seen that Star Trek.
No, I haven't. Yeah, I was actually just listening to a podcast about William Shatner talking about what he did after he got let go from Star Trek.
But before the Star Trek movies transferred over to the Generations crew, and before the Kelvin line reboot, towards the end there were some pretty shady, poorly. I mean, they went into the edge of the universe and found God on a planet who was trying to take their ship to.
That sounds like that episode from Futurama.
Yeah, that's probably what they were probably making fun of
Probably. I can
that
see that.
movie.
It's
Because
just Star Wars is just not. It's not that it's. You don't have an intimidating villain anymore.
Yeah.
There are leaks, and we'll take these leaks for what they are about the new Rey movie coming out. That she's got 2 apprentices, and one of them's going to be the bad guy again. And it's. I don't know. Rey just isn't a character that.
Part of the problem with it is they want to be everything to everyone. In the target audience, they feel the original target audience from people of my generation who were young kids when the original series came out. They don't feel that's the best target audience to have. They want the today's cartoon generation.
Sounds like a Hasbro move.
The millennials, the zennials, the Gen Alphas.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you watch these shows, you watch them and they're like, well, wait a minute, isn't this is too adult for that target audience, but too childish for the original audience.
So,
and you wind up losing both audiences.
Why not just? Look, there's nothing wrong with Star Wars being for boys, and let's trying to think of a girl. I don't know too many girl IPs. Star versus the Forces of Evil. Really good show, even for dudes. Highly recommend that show. One of my favorite cartoons that Disney came out with. It actually got to end on a pretty good note. But it's okay if Star Wars is for boys. There's actually parts in it, even for the guys that women love. My mom loves Star Wars. A lot of women love Star Wars. There's that romantic side plot between Han and Leia and all of these great stories that involved everybody. But
that's again, I don't want to get too deep into gender politics, but I've been reading a lot of romance manga at work. A, because it's generally okay, good stories. B, because it's also generally not got a lot of objectionable content where if my boss comes and look over my shoulder, they're not seeing blood or titties.
Or hentai when you're watching your buddy in a playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3 make love to a mind flayer.
You sat there and watched.
I don't know why I couldn't turn away.
Who's the pervert? The one who engages, the one who sits there and watches.
Brandon's boss could sit there and come up and go, yeah, this is fine. Me, I'm like, oh, dear Jesus, I can't look away.
My boss probably actually would be okay with it. But anyway, time for a bad segue. Fallout.
No, I just think that if you just tell the story for your target audience, it's like a Hasbro and stuff like that. I've said this in the past about just make stuff for who's buying your content. People are so mad at dudes not going to go see the Marvels, and it turned out that dudes were the ones that would actually, most of the people that actually went and saw the Marvels. And you're trying to make stuff for people who don't want to go see it. I'm going to tell you, if you make good action movies with hot dudes, and I wouldn't put Adam Driver as a hot dude. I don't know. If you're out there, is Adam Driver hot? And yes or no? Throw a thumbs up in the chat. Would you go see Adam Driver, or you put somebody like a Jason Statham or Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and you put those in the action movies like Reacher? Chicks are loving Reacher on Amazon. I have to go watch the series. It's on my list of stuff to go see.
I haven't watched season 2 yet, but season 1 was great.
That's what a lot of people are saying. I'm seeing this all over, and
another reviewer on YouTube. He explained it as it's like a modern day Conan wrecking shop in the United States.
I love it. I love it.
He was an actor in the Teen Titans show, I believe.
The live action one?
No,
the guy who plays Reacher.
No, he was Smallville. He was Aquaman on Smallville.
Okay.
Was he? Hold on, let me look.
He wants to play Batman now.
Jensen Ackles is the next Batman, hands down. Jensen Ackles would be the best Batman. But you put it in, and you go in with this. You put a hot dude in there in these action movies. You make him kick doors in and do badass stuff for the dudes, and chicks will go there and watch it too, and they'll be like, "All right, cool." And that's what it's about right there. Like, that's it. And that's why action movies, that's why Tom Cruise does great in the Mission Impossible movies, and chicks love it. It's because it's Tom Cruise. until they find out that he's less than 6 foot, and then it's like, all right, bro, I'm gonna need to see some stats on this.
Loke and I are both correct. He played Aquaman in Smallville and the Hawk in Titans.
Oh, that's right. I loved him.
I forgot about Hawk.
Dude, I loved him as Hawk. He was one of the more fleshed out characters on the DC universe because he went through like the drug addiction and the abuse and everything. Like he actually had some really good trials and tribulations. That's great. Like Hawk was actually like one of the few things that I liked about the DC that whole series. But that's what I'm talking about right there. Is you do that with Star Wars. You make like Mark Hamill for a little dude was a handsome little dude. Like chicks loved it. And then you had Harrison Ford playing that that schmarmy smuggler who's like, "Hey ladies, what's going on?" And ladies loved it. But you don't get that now, and you're trying to like.
Let's get Idris Elba as a grizzled old Jedi.
No, you know who I would think would be better than Idris Elba, and I like Idris Elba too. He's the guy that plays the wizard in Shazam. I really like him.
Oh, Jaimin Hansu.
Yes, he needs to be in more movies. He is really good as like an intimidating like teacher like person, and he would be great as like a Jedi that's like kind of like. Left the order. Let's say you're trying to tell a story from Star Wars that's like way the hell over there that has nothing to do with the Imperials and all that. He left the order, and he's living out on this like mining planet. We'll call it that. And he's out there, and he notices this kid that actually has like who's like force sensitive and stuff like that, and he gets into all this trouble and everything. He would be a great teacher. He has that vibe about him of this like wise old man teacher. He was in Rebel Moon. I saw that, and that it's still not enough to get me to go watch Rebel Moon, but I loved him. He was really good as the wizard.
He was really good in Quiet Place 2 as Guy on Island.
Yeah.
Guy on Island?
Yeah, they never gave him a name. Guy on Island.
I saw that as a playthrough. That shit was hilarious. But he's really good. Like, I think that he would be a really good guy to have in as like a teacher because he has that wise man sort of feel, and you could probably get him to do some really cool stunts with a lightsaber and have some awesome actions with it. It'd be really awesome to watch.
Okay. You seen Dave Bautista in Dune playing the Butcher Harkonnen? Oh, what? Rayon? Oh, I'm blanking on his name. Oh, Dune fans are gonna kill me.
Kill
Blanking
him.
on it.
Murder him.
All
Murder him
three of
now.
Oh no, dude! The Dune fans are.
There are two
legion,
fandoms in this
and they're
world
very
that I will not mess with. The One Piece fans,
Glossu Rabin.
the One Piece fans, and the
Ravan,
Tolkien
that's
fans. Those are the only two fandoms in this world I will not pick a fight with because
Well,
they will murder you.
The
I
Butcher
will.
Ravan.
Oda needs to work on his art.
Yeah,
All right,
if you've
well, a Hitman coming to your fucking way, bro.
if you've seen the new Dune Moon, you've seen him when he's raging. Now picture that in the Kylo Ren spot in the Star Wars movie.
I think that would be a bad cast.
Wielding two vibro axes, I could see it.
Yeah,
I think it would be a bad cast as like a big, as like an end-all villain. Because
Not as an end-all villain, but a,
no.
a side villain.
In the Kylo Ren spot.
But you would have
There's
to make
somebody who
Kylo.
is-
You would have to
is
make
totally
Kylo. You'd have to make
totally
Kylo
obsessed with
the
Jango.
end-all villain. And that's the thing that really needed to happen. Was Kylo just needed to be the end-all villain. I think that the revealing him to be the son of Leia and Han was the worst decision early in the game. Like, if they would have waited to the third movie to reveal that, he'd have been a little bit more intimidating. Like, had he had killed more people, because he was a whiny brat the entire movie.
Yeah. He's a skinny, whiny brat.
Yeah. But if you had a guy like Batista, and this is to your point, so you have a guy like Batista who's got that intimidating and threatening presence.
Yeah.
And he's like afraid of Kylo. That would have been a good play towards how that movie worked out. Like, I would have been more worried about that versus them. Like he was just like, I don't want to do bad things. Bullshit, bro. You just blew up a planet full of people with another planet. And
Yeah, I feel like we lost something with Phasma. I think Phasma should have been a bigger character. Should have seen Gwendolyn Christie without her helmet on, just having that stoic kind of, what the fuck are you talking about? But if Kylo comes in the room, suddenly see that look of fear coming over her face, that would have been effective and made him a more effective villain.
More reason to make Finn like one of the troopers that she had trained and not just a janitor, and have them as like some like ultimate square off in like the final movie. Because the final movie was pretty much Rey and Kylo's adventure to fucking Palpatine. It was fucking such a letdown. Fucking such a letdown. I'm with you, Lo, because we were talking about this in our little private chat about doing the about why Kylo was just a bad villain. So if you're just joining us, thank you for hanging out. Make sure you drop a like or subscribe to the channel if you're finding any of this entertaining. Join in on the conversation. We want to hear what you have to say. We are monitoring your chat. Mr. Producer is all about that. We are playing a drinking game, by the way. We have our drinking rules right here. They're also pinned in the chat. You're going to drink if I rant more than a minute. We've already cleared that one. I haven't used World of Warcraft in an argument yet. PC and Bolg, they argue about DBZ and One Piece. Loke throws shade at the pirate captain. That hasn't happened yet.
All that's happened is I spit truth about Oda's art.
That's not, but that's not true, and so that's not an argument when you have a bullshit point of view. Loke declares himself the winner of an argument because it's against PC. Bolt goes more than 4 minutes. We almost made that one. I was a little bit short. I went and checked my timing. And Loke's cat appears on the stream. Okay. Full view of the cat. Drink, boys.
I have a magic drink button now.
It can only happen once in a few minutes. And anyone refers to anybody off stream, we're gonna break this one too because I saw what did we call her? She
Rava?
your wife Bolg.
Oh, Dravana.
She was joining in us on Facebook. Hi Drava. I saw you in there. I don't know if you're still watching, but I appreciate you tuning in with us. So Drava, here's to you. Alrighty. So those are our rules. If you want to find them, you can join in. But let's move on to another topic because we'll see here. Like, it's not that Star Wars is, it's just irredeemable. But I got to tell you, one thing this one is more of a bold topic because I am very unversed in the world of Fallout. Obviously, we have the Fallout London official release come out. I'm still mad that Bethesda has not put out the next Skyrim game, and that's really annoying to me. But I'm really liking the stills that we saw from the Fallout series. I don't like the reports that are coming out of it, but they're kind of vague reports that have been out there.
Rumors that I've seen on more internet sources, because like I said, we have no inside sources. But some of the rumors that we may be seeing re-releases of the next generation version of like the Fallout 4 coming to consoles about the same time the TV series releases.
Are they just going to Skyrim it and just like make 1,000?
They're going to upgrade the graphics to the modern.
Add the mods and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
I expected it. I know how Bethesda works at this point. I'm not mad at it.
And if the series
disappointed,
if the series takes off and it's a big hit, that will be a big moneymaker for them.
I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a pretty big hit. Like it's going to do well with the Fallout fans. It's going to draw them in, and I think that's why they're kind of keeping tight-lipped on it. And they don't want to release too much about the story because I think if they do, there are going to be people out there that are just going to dissect it. And you're gonna have the crew that hates it and the crew that doesn't.
Is it Prime doing?
It's Prime.
Yeah, Prime is doing it.
It has me worried that Prime is doing it, but they're also doing Reacher, so there is a chance of redemption with that.
Todd Howard is involved directly, and they're saying the new show will be canon.
Yeah,
the Fallout universe, and it will take place timeline-wise after Fallout 4. But in the New California, Los Angeles area, which is that 2 or 3? No,
that's 2. New Vegas.
New Vegas.
2 in New Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 in New Vegas. Because yeah,
They're
so
also
so
going to be
it-
doing the origin of the what do you call that brand? Bolg. Almost doxed you.
He's still trying to dox me. All right.
Yeah.
Origin of
Don't make me call
what?
you a Fed again.
they're going to do the origin of Vault Boy.
Vault Boy.
Oh,
That's right.
yeah. Yep.
So
Which-
they're keeping tight lid, but the stills look really good. My issue with it is my issue with
Not a fan of the series at all.
with Amazon doing it is the Rings of Power.
Mhm.
And they've already talked about the Rings of Power 2, season 2, like how season 2 got greenlit. The Rings of Power had the biggest fall off in viewership of any series out there after the first couple episodes. And that's why I said there's 2 fan bases in this world I will not piss off. And one of them is the One Piece fans, and one of them is Tolkien fans.
Well, the upside with the Fallout 1, this being take placing after, and that they're keeping it within the actual canon of the series, that's a plus.
Yeah.
Involving Todd Howard, who is the creative director for Bethesda. I can't remember what his actual title is there, but having him involved and blessing the things canon wise. But the difference with Fallout being you could always create your character to be and look how you wanted them to. Having a female main character, for example, is not betraying the Fallout lore. You could always have done that at any time with Fallout. So I have hope.
So here's my argument against the female main character in terms of we've seen what they've done with other female main characters recently, not only in Amazon but in Star Wars, where they're Mary Sue's and they can do everything, and they're just perfect at everything, and it's kind of boring. Somebody recommended to me, and I want to start. I'm gonna probably start watching it tomorrow when I'm doing some side work. The Blue-Eyed Samurai on Netflix. Somebody are saying that that's really, really good, and that's a female.
Yeah, I've heard good things, but I've not watched.
It's a female-led character series, but she's not the Mary Sue, and that's the issue that she's coming. One second, I gotta answer Bold.
Yeah, I'm having some technical difficulties over here. If my camera's not showing, it's
frozen.
okay. All right, I will be right back then.
Okay, this doesn't count as the 4 minutes. It's the fact that you have these female characters that they're perfect, and it's just annoying. Like, why not? I mean, it's okay to have like faults in your character. Like, it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be scared of things, to be weak against certain items, or just not to be strong or something like that. It's okay to be smart and all these different things. But that's my biggest worry about the character that would be for the Fallout series, is that she's going to come in here and she's going to walk out and it's going to be girl boss mode, and she's going to be perfect at everything. She's going to walk out into a world that she's never known, and she's going to know how to like survive and do all this. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
What's the point of this? Like, if you have everything handed to you, the best way to put it to you this way is, if you have a series of characters that just get everything they've ever wanted handed to them, where's the fun in watching them do it? It's like having God mode on a video game. It gets boring after a while when everything you touch dies. Like, it's just like, okay, I can do anything. Why am I bothered playing this game? Part of a game is having that challenge and going through that challenge and finally going up. God damn it, get ready to drink, boys. You ready? Here it goes. It's the difference between playing World of Warcraft Classic and World of Warcraft Retail. I was talking to Mr. Producer. The reason I don't like to play World of Warcraft Retail right now is because I don't feel like my work is going into anything. I can work, and I don't feel like I'm getting it that much stronger. Versus in right now, I'm playing Season of Discovery, and even getting like a simple item upgrade feels huge, feels massive, and it feels good. And if the characters that I'm watching, and this goes to any character, it doesn't even just have to do with women characters. It goes to men characters too. This is my issue with Superman. It always comes so easy to Superman.
Yeah.
Like, where does it ever seem to be a problem? Where is he ever trying to have this hard fight and stuff like that? That you don't get to see. He does struggle a little bit, but not as much, and that's why I find him a boring character. That's why I like Batman and Iron Man and all these different characters that have no powers, is because it's hard for them. They have to compete with these things. And if you see this with this Fallout series as it comes out, and she's gonna grow into this character, she comes out of the vault and she's like, well, I could survive on my own and I know how to do all this and that and that. Then why did you even leave the vault?
Yeah.
Like, what was the point of that?
So yeah, so far the previews have shown her as, the lost and afraid, completely fish out of water. Now,
you good? Why were we drinking? I don't know.
Because you ranted more than a minute, and it was about WoW in the end.
Oh, shit.
Okay. So staying on topic with the Amazon shows, but pivoting a little, what do you guys think about the Warhammer 40K series that was announced with Henry Cavill?
I think that one's going to be good because Henry Cavill is not going to let them destroy that series. He loves 40K. He is not going to let them Witcher the 40K series.
Well, and having gone through the Witcher situation, he's going to make sure all the contracts give him the power to prevent another Witcher.
True.
Fuck, I'm trying to make a screwdriver.
He was brought on as executive producer, right? Or just maybe producer.
I think he was actually EP. So I don't think this orange juice is fresh. I'm getting ready to make a screwdriver. So I'm out of a drink.
But yeah.
By the way, you know why you should buy pulp in your orange juice? Fun fact. Because you can't artificially design pulp. That's right. There's the last of my Smirnoff. I can't believe it. I only came in here with one beer. I deserve to be shot.
But yeah, so everything I've seen in the preview, it had the mood and the feel of a Fallout universe. And everything, like the details on the Brotherhood of Steel armor.
The still shots looked really good. Like I'm excited for some of the still shots. I'm just worried that we're gonna get in there, and it's gonna be that writing. And some people, like some of the guys,
Amazon has disappointed me before. Not just with Rings of Power.
Oh, that's a good screwdriver.
So,
you're a big Wheel of Time fan, right?
Oh yes, he is.
I am a big fan of the Wheel. I'm a book cloak, which is what they refer to those of us who dislike what the series has done to our beloved book series. Yes.
Trying to think of where I want to go with this because I enjoy having books, and I'm excited because HBO announced that they were going to try and do a Harry Potter series for Max. And one season's going to be 1 year, which is going to be really good. And I really appreciate what books bring to this world. Sometimes things don't translate to books very well. That's why I don't like live actions. He's not here, so we don't have to drink. I don't really like, to be honest with people, I don't like the One Piece live action. I really don't.
Yeah, he's not here.
Bolg's not here.
Oh,
Can you not see him?
No. I gotta re-invite him back in there.
No, I'm in here.
Oh.
Everybody else,
you weren't showing on the stream. You never let me know you
technical
needed back
difficulties.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Well,
here I've been bringing up points and not being fucking acknowledged.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing: is I didn't know you had to get back, and you backed out of the stream, refreshed, and I didn't know that you needed to get back in the stream. So that's my bad. I'm sorry. What were your
It's weird that
points?
that we could have heard him, but anyways.
Oh,
yes.
obviously it wasn't important. I mean, you're our Fallout resident. You're our Fallout expert. So, I mean, what do you have to say on the Fallout series?
I was saying that there's a lot of things in there that I really do like. It does match the tone very well. The song choice, perfect for the trailer. She does seem like she's not a Mary Sue, that she's very much fish out of water, trying to adjust to the life of the wasteland. But there are things missing, like the briefcase. Is that the Gek? Are they pushing towards a Gek a Gek storyline? Because that's been done over and over and over again. Where are super mutants? I love that they have regular mutants back in there, but super mutants, where are they at? I want to see my big green boys, and that's not just because I'm a big green boy.
I'm hoping they're saving those, that they will be there. But
and then some
of the
dialogue
in the trailer.
Yeah, some of the dialogue seems overly snappy, 2015 type dialogue. I want to go back to the what was the line? I don't have time for your inane faggotry or something like that. It was bad. It has no fucks to give, and it's beautiful. And I just
you gotta have these series that just don't take themselves serious anymore. Like that they're there to fuck around to find out.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that that's the direction they're going to go. But with how quick people are to shut down shit that's not PC,
I'm gonna tell you, it's actually the reverse. It's more, there are more people out there that are shutting down stuff that is PC than it is if it's not PC. People don't want to be lectured to anymore, so they actually want to sit back and just kind of like watch. They would rather watch something that's just entertaining. So if you come out there and you tell an off-color joke, it's one thing. But if you come out there and you tell us why you shouldn't tell us an off-color joke, that's when people tune out. So I think it's going to go over. Like if that's their joke, I think it's going to go over fine.
I mean, when we're talking about a series where there's a perk that literally gives you a 5% boost to your attacks, and that's it. But the real draw of it is that your enemies explode into bloody paste.
Yeah.
Give us that. Give us the. I mean, the blood looks good.
Cannibalism is a running theme in the Fallout series.
I hope there's a complete non sequitur where just out of nowhere, a guy in a trench coat with a revolver shows up, blows the fuck out of some guys, and disappears.
You want to talk about being PC? You're talking about like, somebody showing up in a trench coat, blowing the fuck out of somebody.
For Fallout fans, though, that is like an Easter egg.
Yeah, and the lead character is looking around like, where the fuck did that guy come from?
There's a perk in the game called the Mysterious Stranger who just randomly shows up.
Why did this have to happen in a bathroom
for you?
And New Vegas went a step further and gave you
Misfortune.
smiling
for that one.
Gave you Misfortune, which was a female version of Mysterious Stranger, but wearing a Vegas showgirl outfit, which is mint for New Vegas.
Yeah. I look, go in, and if you do, I'm trying to think of a series that I liked recently that like I watched all the way through, and I was like, these are great characters. This is awesome storytelling. Chad, if you're out there right now, you can go ahead and drop your comments in. If you have somebody like, oh, this is a series that has like a really good one. It's the chat.
Chat.
It's the chat.
Not Chad. I heard Chad.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Chad.
Well, we'll drink to it because you said Chad. I don't know if we have a Chad out there. If you're Chad and you're out there listening, this one's to you, buddy. I had to move on to a screwdriver.
That was my favorite paladin I've ever played.
Chad, the ultimate paladin.
Yeah.
Chad, the ultimate bro. But as long, look, man, just tell a good story. The hero's journey is one of my favorite things, and Dan Harmon, of all the writers in recent years, I think Dan Harmon is one of the best writers, obviously from Community and Rick and Morty. Not this new season, by the way. I will hands down boycott this new season till the end. I just can't do it without Justin Roiland. Not guilty, by the way. Maybe guilty of some other things. I'm all about it, but he was not guilty on why they fired him, and that one I call shenanigans on. But Dan Harmon is hands down one of the best writers out there because he understands the hero's journey better than most writers out there, and that's something that everybody, it doesn't matter if you're male or female, these are the things that you have to go through. Nobody wants to watch somebody who is perfect at everything succeed at everything because it's just boring. It really is.
What about the inverse? Watching somebody who's shitty at everything be shitty at everything.
But that's comic relief.
It depends how it's done.
That's the pirate captain.
It could be a tragedy.
Right. And
well,
like,
I mean,
that's
but
my
the tragedy,
against
but even in but that's a
hero's journey.
Okay, but are you? How many tragedies? What's the last tragedy you remember watching?
Fall
Chef
of the House
Bog
of
and the
Ledger.
Pirate Captain's Recipes for Everything.
Mr. Producer, like clued me. I didn't even know this fucking existed. But then Mr. Producer clued me into it. Fall of the House of Usher. Beautiful tragedy.
Okay. Well, I mean, okay, so there's tragedies, and that's fine. But even then, you still have a journey in there that probably still follows into the hero's journey.
Horror is one of my favorite genres, and there's not a single hero's journey to be found. It's how do they die?
Well, I mean, people make it out. So, the hero's journey. I got this pulled up. Hold on, I gotta go to screen share. So,
a lot of the recent shows have been more. It's a darker tone. I think that's going like the House of the Dragon. The way that series first season ended for that series, I'd say that's a pretty dark spot to end on.
Okay, but here's what it is. So you have your call to adventure, supernatural aid. You got the threshold, the beginning of transformation, the mentor, the helper, the death and rebirth, transformation, atonement, return, and it's just it cycles through. And I'm telling you, there is nobody better than Dan Harmon who understands these stories. And that's what the whole Rick and Morty stuff, he still bases like all of his episodes off of this whole cycle right here. And these are the best stories that we know. You can input some of the greatest stories that we've ever known out there, and it follows all of this. Let's start with Star Wars. We talked about Star Wars. Call to Adventure. So you have Ben shows up, or the droids show up.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
The droids show up looking for Obi-Wan. Supernatural aid, the Force. Threshold of beginning of transformation. He's learning the Force and stuff on the way to being on the way to the Death Star. Mentor, helper. The helper dies. Death and rebirth. Transformation. He
turns into a ghost.
Realizes he's got to be there. Atonement. What was the atonement in that one?
When he failed in Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back, I guess. I was only looking to try to do the first movie, but yeah. Return.
Well, I think
Return of the Jedi is the title.
Yeah.
So. Luke's story is a good 3-arc hero's journey.
Yeah.
But you can put some of the greatest stories that we've ever seen, whether it's these movies, John Wayne movies, big fan of those, all the same way. This one uses
the writing theory that there's only 7 stories.
That's true, and everything's a retelling. Everything's pretty much a retelling of Beowulf.
And so the hero's journey is one of the 7. But I mean, they could go with the.
My high school English teacher, she had this whole thing that everything always linked back to Beowulf, and she was really good about explaining the point. I couldn't do it justice to argue her point, but she could actually link back everything to Beowulf. And she was really good at it. But
as a writer myself, the thing is,
can you say anything? Hold on. I want to pause you right there. Can you say anything more pretentious? Because I see that on Twitter a lot. Like I'm not saying you're pretentious because I love you to death and I know who you are, but Twitter people say that a lot. And it's not just writer. It's as anything myself, and it's like as a blank myself.
I'm not discounting the pretension.
Okay, never mind. You're right. You're right. That one beats. That one makes it pretentious.
I'm not discounting the pretentiousness of what I'm about to say, but as a writer myself, we
really got to drink more while we do these things.
The idea of a story that you already have has probably already been told. It's how you do the telling that makes the difference.
Yeah.
It's the characters. It's the little details that change the story.
Oh,
yeah. And that's where the basic argument comes from with
this new Fallout
Dragon Ball versus
mystery instead of a hero's journey.
I think that the hero's journey though is peak storytelling though.
But this could be a murder mystery. They could be a whodunit. It could be something completely that's not a, and it would still be a good show.
Did anybody see the new Twisted Metal series that came out on Peacock?
I've been meaning to watch it, but
really good series. Good comedy. Will Arnett. I will watch damn near anything with Will Arnett. I hate Teen Titans Go, but I went and saw Teen Titans Go in the theaters because Will Arnett played Deathstroke. Deadpool.
Will Arnett.
He played BoJack Horseman, and that's when I really fell in love with him as a character.
The Lego Batman.
He was Lego Batman. He is an official Batman. He is like one of my favorite actors of all time because he plays that he plays the perfect cynical person.
He and what's his name? The guy who played Orem in Aquaman. I get confused a lot.
Yeah, they have there's another guy. I used to get Will Arnett confused a little bit with Nick Kroll too, because Nick Kroll, when he does Murray's voice from Murray the Hormone Monster, it sounds a lot like it together. But Will Arnett, I will see him in anything, and I hated. I hate Teen Titans Go, but I went to go see it because of him. But it still followed that hero's journey of them, and even though as stupid as it was.
So I've been watching the DCEU for that video that the Pirate Captain mentioned, and I'm really upset that Deathstroke was mentioned but never came into fruition in the DCEU because it was played by what's his name?
He did in the Titans universe?
No, in the
at the end of the Justice League. Yeah, at the end of
Snyderverse, there's a in the Snyderverse version of Justice League, there's like the post-credit scene, or one of the versions. Post-credit scene was a Deathstroke.
The best person to play a Deathstroke, hands down, was the guy in. I don't even want to say the guy from Titans. I actually want to say the guy that played it in the Arrowverse. He was really good.
Oh, none other than Joe Fuck, I'm gonna butcher this. Manganiello. Yeah, Manganiello. And I was really. He looks like a
Mr. D&D himself.
Yeah, Mr. D&D himself. He looks like such a badass Deathstroke.
Okay, but what does that have to do with the hero's journey? That's the thing. But even
Deathstroke, so I wanted to talk about Deathstroke.
Okay, well, that's not a hero, and it's not the hero's journey. But even in Twisted Metal, they told the story of the hero's journey. Will Arnett, that's where I got sidetracked. I was trying to figure out where I got sidetracked off that freaking shit. Will Arnett played Sweet Tooth, and he was really good. But it's still the hero's journey, and that's
he did the voice of Sweet Tooth. He was. Oh no,
yeah, Jason Momoa was the fucking Sweet Tooth himself. Really good performance. Like out of all of those, you could have watched that whole thing. Anthony Mackie, and it was really good too. And what's her nuts? She was really good as Hush. Or yeah,
I'm
Hush.
fairly sure she doesn't have any nuts.
No, I don't know. I didn't get to watch the whole series.
It is 2023, almost 2024.
We still got 40 minutes counting down to the new year. Appreciate everybody who's joined in with us so far. I really do. Not our normal impromptu Friday night galley stream. You can catch these every other Friday. If there's not a release of a podcast episode on our YouTube, you can always catch these. These are YouTube and now Facebook-only events. We'll be live streaming these on Fridays. 8 to 9, just a quick hour where we talk about the different pop culture news that comes out really a big shout out to everybody who subscribed to the channel recently. I want to go back over this. We had a couple of our videos recently. We actually had one that almost reached 2,000 views. I'm sure it will eventually because it's still kind of like slowly growing. But we've had a couple of our videos recently do very well, and it's all because of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate everything you do. You don't have to like what we have to say, but appreciate what we have to say.
I think this guy's got something more to say, something we didn't say in the Fallout talk.
I'm sure you're about to tell us, though.
Fallout London, one of the biggest fan-created overhauls of Fallout 4 is coming on April 24th of 2024.
Which is, again, going to put it right out about the right time for when the series comes. The series comes out in May, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So coming out right at the right time, and that's almost all fan-created.
100% fan created,
Yeah.
but approved by Bethesda.
And licensed, yeah. Bethesda took the project and is going to make money off it.
And it
It would
may
be foolish of them not to.
it may start an entire series of mods dedicated to looking at the Fallout universe other than in the US. Yeah. Imagine like this London one if they go the Britannia angle of like Americana is such a huge part of Fallout, but doing the Britannia 1950s, 1940s style of war propaganda, just like rock and roll is starting to take off, but nowhere near as much as it is here in the US. They're focusing still more on traditional music, classical. I'm interested to see what they do. Americana is such a big part of the Fallout universe that I want to see what they do with London and really how it changes the Fallout.
This could be the equivalent of the Beatles.
Yeah, basically.
Coming to the Fallout universe.
I don't know. Last time the Beatles tried to... Last time somebody tried to say they were as big as the Beatles, it didn't go over very well.
Yeah.
I just don't know enough about the Fallout series, but that's why I have you guys, because you guys are way better at it. It's not that I've played a couple of the Fallout games, but I haven't played them as much as I've played like Morrowind or Oblivion or Skyrim and stuff like that. But I respect what Fallout does as a series. I do want to get into something before we run out of time because we're coming up against the midnight. Obviously, it's 11:23 and 40 seconds at the time of me saying this. And I want to make sure that we get to this because this, I think, is going to be... We're going to come back to this hopefully next year or anytime one of these predictions comes through. So, Mr.
I was going to
Producer,
say it's Dragon Ball versus One Piece.
it is not Dragon Ball versus One Piece because you are wrong. And yeah, that's a drink moment. Calling Oda's art bad? You freaking Philistine. At least he still does his own art. He doesn't have somebody else drawing his own shit.
Hey, Toriyama does his own art.
No, he doesn't.
Just not for Dragon Ball anymore.
Okay, then. Oda's still doing freaking...
All right.
No. I'm going to finish what I got to say, and you can drink again. Oda's still drawing the One Piece art. He had one bad chapter in, like, the last 5 issues, and I almost wanted to, like, pour one out just for him for that. So, yeah. Drink to that, motherfuckers. At least he's still doing his own art and story work.
Yeah, well, one artist did so much of his work that it did kill him.
You mean like it's doing to Oda right now, and he's done more?
I mean, Kentaro Miura.
Let's go. Motherfucker, you ain't winning this one. One Piece, the greatest odyssey of the modern era. I saw somebody made a video with my title in it because I've told people that One Piece is the modern odyssey, and somebody went and made a video and it got a bunch of views. I was like, motherfucker.
You mean that show that I couldn't make it through the first episode of the anime?
They're actually doing something for you. They're actually getting ready to update. They're actually getting ready to redo the anime and stuff like that.
Yeah, that is something I will say is they're getting ready to redo the anime, kind of like the Kai did for Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
but
which I like the Kai thing. I think Kai was really good. But then I missed the original version. so much though because you can't really find the original OG
Yeah.
version anymore.
Yeah, and they butchered the colors. They butchered a lot of the stuff that gave it character. They took away.
Yeah.
I have the Kai on Blu-ray, but I would rather have the original series. And I'm so sad I got rid of it.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Producer, I need you to pull up your prediction list. I've got
You need me to screen share it?
Is that another drink? Because he's having him pull something up.
No, you're thinking of the original thing that I had to change at the last minute. But yeah, we can drink to that. Drink to that, Mr. Producer. I don't want to screen share it because if you screen share it, it'll show our answers. But they should be able to. It's in the Google Docs, so they'll be able to look at it.
My answers. I should look at that.
Oh no, because I went in and added mine as well. You guys were a little bit more optimistic. I think if you go down, you guys had more yeses.
I didn't put notes, so I just put yeses or nos.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all. I didn't put notes either.
Each one.
I didn't put notes either. So we're going to go through this. Mr. Producer is going to call it out, and then we're going to go in order. PC, Bolg, Bard, producer himself, and we're going to talk, and this will be your chance. So what do you want to, let's start with the top.
First off, on the 2024 prediction list, we have Hasbro lays off more than 1,000 employees this year.
Absolutely. Unless they do like Loke said, where they start making toys again, and you can go check out that video. It's on our Facebook or on our YouTube page. Hasbro hates making toys. I think that they're going to absolutely lay off another 1,000 employees. Bolg?
I think no. I think there's been a big enough backlash. They're going to go, maybe we don't this year. Maybe.
I said no on this because these 1,100 that are currently in process are going to take them the next 6 months. And then I think when they do their next round of layoffs, you can't count these 1,100 again. So even if you added this 1,100 to whatever they do this year, then it would have been over that 1,000. But I don't think it'll be over 1,000 without adding that.
Okay.
I said yes as well. I think if they just don't get the revenue, I think they'll just try and keep cutting what they can until they turn a profit. So I went with yes for that one as well.
All right.
Next up, we have Dune 2 beats the $500 million box office.
All right.
We'll say worldwide box office.
Oh, so we're saying worldwide? Well, that's going to change my answer.
Okay. Do you want to do what? How did you interpret it?
I thought you were saying domestic. I thought you were saying domestic. So you can change it to worldwide because I'll say that.
We'll go worldwide.
When you guys get done,
that's why I based off the original.
That's fine. When you guys get done, just throw it over to the next person, so it'll stay follow the thing. So all right, me, worldwide, no, domestically, probably not. Hollywood's in a hard spot right now. They have had so many flops, and Dune I think has a fan base, but I don't think its fan base is that big that it's gonna make 500 million here. But worldwide, absolutely. Bolg?
I'm thinking actually, yes. Domestically, 500 million. Worldwide, probably over $1 billion. Just because the fan base here is rabid, is big, and it is quite a big movie. I mean, the first one raked in enough money. I think the second one's going to bring in more.
It's worth noting the first one only made a $402 million box office.
The first one was also released day and date on HBO Max, and it was during the COVID pandemic, and it still raked in 450 million and won a bunch of awards. So I'm going to say absolutely, it'll easily crush, unless it's bad. I mean, if it's bad, obviously.
Oh yeah, that's the defining factor. I think that'll lose it.
But one movie. Well, no, there's probably two because with the Deadpool, but it is probably the one guaranteed success Hollywood would have this year, other than Deadpool.
Right,
I also said yes. I think that the Dune fans are among those ravenous fan groups, and I'm pretty sure it'll be the $500 million box office.
All right. Yeah. All right. That's fair enough. All right. Go ahead.
Deadpool brings us into our next topic, which is Deadpool 3 introduces the next big bad for the MCU.
No, the MCU's dead, and I think that what they're going to try and do, because they're trying to kill off a lot of their Deadpool stuff. With the Deadpool, they're trying to get off. They brought Hugh Jackman back. Hugh Jackman said he'd never come back. So I think this is the end of what we'll ever see with Hugh Jackman Wolverine, which sucks because he was a really good Wolverine. I think that this is the end. I think because it's in post production right now that they're already working. It should be out in May, I want to say, is its release date. So I don't think it's going to be, to change that now, you would have to go back in and reshoot. I don't think it's going to make enough money. Bolg?
I actually think the opposite. I think it is a perfect vehicle for the MCU to go, okay, it's already a multiversal movie. We've already gotten set photos suggesting that. Fuck it. Let's just introduce Doctor Doom right now. Let's just introduce Galactus right now. Why not? Why not throw it at something that's going to be making a shitload of money anyway, because Deadpool is that kind of movie. So, yeah, why not?
I think they were waiting for the trial too long to make the decision whether to move away from Kang. I think it was too late. They're too far into the Deadpool production. I don't think you're going to get the big shift as part of Deadpool. Plus, Deadpool is not the serious, timeline specific type of. I mean, it breaks the fourth wall a lot to be your pipeline for your new hardcore storyline to come in.
I also went with no. I mean, they could always come up with a post-credit scene to introduce them. I could see them spinning that. I disagree with the Pirate Captain that the MCU is dead. I just don't see them killing off or rebooting the MCU. I think they're going to try and keep pushing it forwards until it just utterly fails. Or,
it already has utterly failed, though. Like, that's the thing. It's utterly failed already. Like, no movie.
I mean, that's your opinion.
No, that's box office and a lot of other things that show that the MCU has utterly failed in this last phase. But I don't think that's going to be the thing that's going to, like, I don't think that's going to, like, this isn't the end of the universe, like, itself. Like, they're not going to kill off the universe. I think they're just really killing off Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, almost.
I don't know. I don't see them killing it, and we'll go back and forth on this, but
Yeah, nothing.
I think like I said, I think there's not a better time to do it than then.
You'd have to reshoot the movie, though. It's in post production.
Well, they could just throw an end credit scene together. Where,
and that is their only movie for this year.
Yeah, and it's just not enough. Like, now is the time to cut your losses and walk away.
Yeah.
Next,
Kung Fu Panda 4 is the highest grossing of the series.
No. You know what? I think that one's like a resounding no across all of us.
I went with yes just to be
Devil's
antagonistic.
Yeah, okay. You pulled a PC and no, you've automatically been downvoted. No.
I could. I don't know what. I have to look at the past box office for the Kung Fu Panda series.
I think DreamWorks and Illumination themselves, they're running into this issue, and I saw somebody post this on Twitter that they were like, "Why are we making another Despicable Me movie?" And the reason is because they make money, but I don't think it's going to make enough money. This isn't just an MCU, a Star Wars issue. This is a Hollywood issue. But Illumination and DreamWorks, they still pull in money because they've started making just the family movies that have that adult entertainment that you can go in there and you can kind of get the joke. Shrek is the perfect example. And I think there's a Shrek movie planned for the next year. So I don't think Kung Fu Panda is going to be the highest grossing of the series, but I think hopefully it'll be the end of the series. Not that I don't want to see Jack Black stop playing Poe. It's just sometimes you have to let things out.
I don't know. Aquafina is set to be the next Dragon Warrior. They could They could start their.
No,
They could start their
no.
own new
Poe
series,
is the
They've
Dragon
also-
Warrior. We got. If they do
They've
that,
also waited too long.
yeah,
How long's it been since 3 came out?
a while. But 3 was actually pretty. I enjoyed 3 a
Right.
lot. 3
But
and 2 were really good.
You got to think the target audience from 3 has now a good portion of them have outgrown the.
Yeah,
It'll be 8 years. Oh my
8 years.
God.
yeah.
So-
That's
so
a,
you're
that's a
talking-
resounding no to all of them.
No.
All right.
That's a long time in the cartoon
Yep.
world.
Next,
Dr. Peter Venkman dies in Ghostbuster Frozen Empire.
fuck no. I'm gonna cut you off on that one. There is no way you're gonna kill off Bill Murray in his own fucking series. This is the I'm already mad at the movie because they've gotten away. They made so much money on the last one that they're starting to use more special effects. They're getting away of what made Afterlife amazing. They're not going to kill off Peter Venkman. To do that would be a slap into the face to all the series fans of Ghostbusters, hands down. Bolg?
I think he's right around where Harrison Ford was. He's done. He's done. He wants out. He's dying. Bye.
Loke?
I think they might try, but I don't think Bill Murray would participate or cooperate. He's hard enough to get to show up to shoot when he wants to shoot. He's got this reputation as a very difficult actor to work with, and I don't think he will allow his character to be killed off.
Mr. Producer?
Bill Murray's old, man. I just looked it up. He's 73 years old. They could go for like a shock value, kill, and what
You're not going to get anything good out of the story if you do that, though.
I don't know. I guess it remains to be seen, but I could see a world in which, they put old Dr. Venkman on the chopping block.
Okay.
Can't see Bill Murray allowing it.
No, me neither. Venkman is such an iconic character, and with if Harold Ramis was still around, maybe, but being already down one Ghostbuster like it is, I don't see them killing off even Ernie Hudson, and I love Ernie Hudson in those movies, but I don't think that they would even kill off Winston. Like it would shock the system to Ghostbusters fans, and it would not be good for the series as a whole. The idea is them passing off the torch to these new series. So I don't see that. Next.
A new Pokemon game is revealed.
So this is my first yes, I think. Or no, it's not my first yes, but I think we're going to get a reveal probably at the end of the year for the next generation, or maybe a new game. I don't even think of the new game. I think more, I think it's going to be, so you have with every new generation that's come out in the last couple of years that we've gotten a reboot of a previous generation, starting with Leaf Green and Fire Red and so on and so forth. I think we're going to see the next one of that, which actually would be Black and White remakes, which are going to do insanely well as long as they don't do the chibi form that they did with the Diamond and Pearl remakes. Bolg?
I disagree. I think that they have realized they fucked up bad with Scarlet and Violet, and they're going to dedicate more time to trying to fix the problems that are there. And we are going to not see a new announcement probably for another couple of years.
Loke?
I think we're going to start seeing a lot of the tooling up and gearing up for the advertising campaign for the Switch 2. And I suspect that the Pokemon franchise will be a large part of that tooling up. And so we will probably see lots of announcements for the new Switch 2 compatible advanced games in the series of Pokemon, Super Mario Brothers, and so on.
Mr. Producer?
I originally answered no, but now that I'm thinking about it, they'll probably reveal Gen 10 around the end of the year. So I'm going to switch my answer to a yes.
Okay. All right. That brings
our
us
next
yeah.
question is the Nintendo Switch 2 releases.
That's my answer on that one.
Yeah, I think you already answered. I don't think so. I don't think it's there yet. I think that's going to be a no just for the time being. Like the Switch Lite and everything. Like the Switch Lite didn't go very well, and there's not a whole lot more you can go up from there yet, which is what they've got. I don't think it's going to be a new one yet. I think we're still a couple of years out from the next Nintendo handheld system. Bolg?
Absolutely not. I think we're a couple of years out. I know the timeline has been shrinking. The Wii U Plus Switch bullshit. I think they might have learned something from that. While the plans have leaked, I don't think they're at a development stage yet to be able to release it or even tease it. I think they're going to be much more withdrawn about the Switch 2 and probably won't release it until it's near completion.
Luke?
Yeah, and I don't remember what I actually put on the chart, but I think that we will start seeing the advertising campaign for the Switch 2. I don't think we'll actually see the physical Switch 2 arrive this year. I think you will get a release date announced this year.
But will it be a Switch 2, though?
Yeah, it'll be a Switch 2.
All right, Mr. Producer?
I went with yes. I could see them teasing it early in the year and trying to push it out before the Christmas console cycle comes out, because I think they're in that we're at that like halfway point for the Xbox and PlayStation consoles, right? Where they're starting to look at like the pro versions of these consoles. Is that right?
Yeah.
So they might, I could see them trying to push it out for, trying to beat the game cycle this winter, so they don't have to compete with the next console cycle.
Alrighty. This one was a resounding no from everybody, so I'm not going to do individual ones. PlayStation exclusive wins Game of the Year. Being the PlayStation guy from all of us, I don't think so. Like, PlayStation exclusive titles aren't as good as they used to be. We used to have Final Fantasy, which really worked in our favor, and we also had like Spider-Man and all these other ones, but we just don't anymore. And we don't. And Xbox doesn't even have Bethesda to themselves anymore, which really helped them out during those years. I just don't see there being a title coming out this year for a PlayStation exclusive. Exclusives aren't a big thing anymore. They lose so much money on just doing exclusives. So
I was looking at the games that are set to come out next year, and I just don't see anything in particular that's looking real good.
This year was really good for games.
Yeah, I'm looking at, they released Spider-Man 2 and God of War Ragnarok. If that didn't win,
Spider-Man 2 was never going to win.
No, because Baldur's Gate 3 released.
Harry Potter would have beaten it before then. And the only reason Harry Potter lost out was because of the campaign against it, and that didn't do very well. Like, there's the rule. Like, I went in to go see what the rules were for a lot of these things, and Harry Potter got itself cucked out of it because of the people hosting the Game of the Year awards, and I'm going to call them out on that one. Because if Baldur's Gate 3 wasn't here, Harry Potter would have been the Game of the Year because it was that massive. I think even Harry Potter actually outsold Baldur's Gate in certain aspects.
And that's the reason exclusive games have such a hard time, is you have such a broader audience for the non-exclusive games.
Yeah.
To win an award that's a broad audience award, it's very difficult.
Y'all ready to drink?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because I was having this conversation with Akaw yesterday. That even the Legend of Zelda game, the only reason the Legend of Zelda game win is because of the fact is that the title Legend of Zelda itself. From what I've heard from a lot of people who played the new Legend of Zelda, it's just a reskin with updated features that like a lot of quality of life features and a new story from the last one. Why does that deserve Game of the Year? Well, it's Legend of Zelda. That's not a reason. You're just telling me the title of it. Baldur's Gate 3, great story, great gameplay, great reception among fans everywhere, which is actually the same thing that people said about the Harry Potter games. Like I said, they got cucked because people had that whole big issue and with J.K. Rowling and all that other bullshit, because that's all it was. just a
Quick
bunch of
side
bullshit.
note. PC, I almost charged your credit card for my purchase. Thank God I noticed who was signed in.
Yeah, of course you would. So, no, there's not going to be a PlayStation exclusive. Next,
Has a PlayStation exclusive game won the game? Won
Spider-Man.
the game award game of the year?
Spider-Man.
It was Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Okay, I wasn't entirely certain.
The original Spider-Man game that came out a few years ago, the good one, not the Miles Morales version. The Miles Morales version didn't do well, like because it was you reskinned the Spider-Man game, didn't do well. A lot of people were not happy with the story and the gameplay of the recent Spider-Man. People enjoyed the Venom gameplay of the Spider-Man game, but they didn't enjoy even Spider-Man or Miles Morales' gameplay of that. Next.
Microsoft acquires another AAA studio.
Okay. For me, no. The acquisition of Blizzard was such a pain in the ass. Such a pain in the ass. They had to go through monopolization and stuff like that. That for them to go through it again this year, I don't see it being. Because it was like over a year and a half that they were trying to get Blizzard. Olg?
I say the opposite. They'll flex even harder and say yes.
Who are they going to buy?
Whoever they want.
Okay, but who? If they that's the thing is who?
Okay, so if we're looking at AAA studios and they want to go for a monopoly where they're just covering the board, they've got Activision, they've got Bethesda. Let's say they go for Naughty Dog and take them right out from under PlayStation's feet.
They're going to go through the whole thing. It's going to take them more than a year because it took them over a year to get Blizzard. So, like I said, it's not going to be in this year. Even if they were to try and acquire another title, it's going to take them another year because they're going to have to go through monopolization issues that they did over in the UK for acquiring Blizzard.
Okay, so if we go with a AAA studio that's smaller,
even then, you're still going to have to go through that monopolization thing back in the UK again.
Monopolies are going to monopoly though.
Yeah.
But it's not so much as that they're not. It's not that they're in a monopoly. It's the argument that because I wasn't arguing that they were in a monopoly when they bought Blizzard. The UK argued it, and it held it up in litigation for over a year. It took forever for the acquisition of Blizzard by Microsoft to go through because of that. That's my argument. It's not going to be if they bought it in January, it would probably take them till next May. Not the May that's coming up, the May after May to get that.
Well, I guess my question would be, are we arguing acquisition in the year or acquisition announced in the year?
Then that would be different, and that would change the prediction.
And that would change my prediction as well. No, they're not going to get another AAA studio next year, but they might announce that they're going to get one.
Loke?
Yeah, this is the company who paid $1 million a day fine to the federal government rather than breaking their monopoly. They're going to keep acquiring more studios until there are no
like I said,
studios.
yeah. I mean, it's not that it is, but like I said, it's going to get held up in litigation again.
Right.
With the UK.
I don't know if they'll successfully finish it before the end of the year, but they're going to try.
Mr. Producer?
Yeah, I guess that changes. I didn't define that well enough when I was creating this. Is if it's an actual like end date purchase or a reveal.
I need another beer.
I'm still working on my screwdriver.
Also, you can't see it, but I am wearing horror-themed socks. I'm wearing horror-themed pajama pants. And my hat is a Berserk-based band, which is dark horror fantasy.
I'm supporting local. This is one of my favorite pizza shops here in Indiana.
One of what? 6?
No, there's actually a lot of fucking pizza shops here, but they have this like Midwestern fucking
Indiana,
pizza
bro.
style. It's they all want fucking Chicago style. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Chicago style's okay. It's not
no.
It's okay.
It's not okay. It's not okay. The fact you say it's okay means that there's room for improvement. Fucking New York style pizza, the king of all goddamn pizzas. And it's the only place in goddamn town to go get it. Come on up here, bro. I have a room ready for all 3 of you. Come up here. I'll take you to Susie's, and you're gonna love Susie's.
Is it a snuggle room?
Bro, me and you, I kicked my wife out of the bed, and me and you can snuggle.
I'm gonna leave my answer as a yes because I could see them pulling something out. It's fucking Microsoft.
They may announce it, but they are not going to acquire it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, next.
I would be surprised if Microsoft acquired the federal government because they're Microsoft.
We got to get going through this because we're getting close to the countdown.
Yeah, we only have a couple left.
Okay.
Well, I'm waiting for Bull to get back.
Go ahead. Well, we can go, and then when Bull gets back, we'll get his answer. Oh, the next one.
Microsoft has a 2.79 trillion market cap. That's crazy. Anyways, next one is Baldur's Gate 3 releases DLC.
I don't think they need to release DLC. They're just patching their stuff. They're not even like doing stuff. Like they're just patching in and adding shit to theirs. So
you currently have a yes answer.
I know I have a yes answer, but I'm kind of like they just been patching in shit, and I'm waiting for them to patch in that you can play as a goblin as a playable race.
No, I'm saying in the spreadsheet you have a yes.
Yeah, I know I have a yes, but I say yes, but I think most of their stuff's going to be patches.
I believe I've seen an announcement already for that the adventure continues or whatever for playing beyond. What is the cap right now? Level 12.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, there's mods out there that have done really well.
Yeah, but I believe something official is coming from Larian Games that continue like another chapter, another.
I just want Goblin as a playable race.
Yeah.
That's all I want. I want Goblin as a playable race.
There's a lot that they could do with it. They have the framework. There's no reason they couldn't take one of their existing modules and form it to a Baldur's Gate 3 setting. And I think they could make a lot of money doing something like that. So it's not official as of right now, but I believe that it'll either be announced or released.
We're on the Baldur's Gate 3 releases. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think so, but I think a lot of their stuff that they're going to do for the first part of the year is just going to be minor patches. And because that's all they've been doing to add content into the game already is just minor patches. And I say minors, patches so big that you have to uninstall the game and reinstall it, but Gasparilla.
Loke has a
Gasparilla
no.
Anything to say on that, Loke?
Yeah, like I said, when I put the no on there, I'd seen an article since then that seems to be hinting on the fact that sometime in 2024 there will be a release.
Larian, get ready to drink, boys. Larian is doing so well that it even got Bacall to buy it only on a 10% discount. So, drink up, boys.
Yeah.
All right, let's blow through these next two. Well, I'm sorry. Are you sticking with your no answer, Loke, or are you?
No, I'm going to say yes because
yes. Okay.
I did not think it would be by the end of 2024. I figured it would be early 2025.
Well, and
when I said the no originally, but like I said, since then I've seen an article that hints to it coming sooner.
Okay.
I didn't get to explain my reasoning behind it, but it basically boils down to Larian has been updating a lot.
Yes. And
shows that they're still working on the game actively. I think there is a team at Larian directly involved in making DLC. Again, they've also already announced all DLC is going to be free. So it's going to come at the end by the end of next year.
All right. Honor
Just like
among
me,
thieves
hopefully.
who gets an announcement.
No. I'm surprised people still even play that game. I'll be honest.
No,
it's not a bad game, but I think it's
the movie.
Oh.
That's the D&D movie.
D&D.
Oh, well then, yeah, let me change that. No. The first one didn't do good enough. It's not that it wasn't a bad... Like, I thought it was a good movie for, like... If the crew of us were to sit around and go watch the movie, okay, yeah. But me to, like, go out of my way to watch it now, I probably wouldn't. I think that our original idea for the movie would have been way better had it gone with the idea that it wasn't actually them as their characters, but people playing them as characters in a D&D campaign.
I agree that it's not going to happen. I do think it is going to happen, just not this coming year. I think we've probably got another year or so before it's going to come out. Because unlike Pirate Captain, I have watched it multiple times. I have enjoyed it multiple times. Hell, I throw it on at work and have spied my boss neglecting her duties, watching it over my shoulder. So I think it's going to come out. I think it did well enough in streaming that we're going to get a sequel. Probably not as big of a budget, but it'll come out 2024, 2025, 2026.
I just don't think the budget and stuff like that, and like the amount of money that was with it, just didn't work out that way.
Yeah, its theatrical run didn't do well enough that you would traditionally think it would get a sequel. But I suspect from the numbers I've seen from the streaming ratings and like things like reaction channels, the number of views they're getting, I suspect it's had a more successful digital release than it did a theatrical release.
Also, the creators and actors are behind it.
I would rather see it do,
but I don't think it'll be a 2024 movie.
No,
I have it as an announcement.
I think if it was like a digital release, like it's going to be a series on like Amazon, I would say yes. But I'm thinking of it as a movie release, and I don't think so. I think it would have been a better series.
If it does announce, it'll be at like New York Comic Con, something at the end of the year.
I don't think it'll be at Comic Con. I think it'll be at Gen Con.
It's next year's the 50th anniversary.
Gen Con's not too soon. Gen Con will be May.
They could pull out, hey, we're doing yet another movie.
I
have it as a yes.
I mean, if it's just an announcement with a title, sure, they could probably do that. But if we're talking about like a trailer or something, no, not this.
And also, is any new D&D movie going to qualify as a yes in this case?
I have it listed as Honor
or
Among
is
Thieves
specifically
too,
the sequel to that
sequel.
one.
But it didn't really leave room for a sequel either. Like everything was like tied up at the end.
True. I have it listed as just Honor Among Thieves 2 announcement. So I went yes because I'm trying to rack up some points on you guys being antagonistic.
I'm not. I'm the only one that's like antagonistic. I have more no's than anybody on the screen.
That brings us to our final question, and that is: the podcast breaks 250 subscribers.
Yes. Well, is it the podcast or the YouTube?
Chef Bolg and the Pirate Captain breaks 250 subscribers. I guess we'll say YouTube because that's where my focus has been.
YouTube, yes, and here's why I say that. We've had really good growth from viewers that are you watching this right now, that have subscribed to this. You have been super exciting, and you've been interacting with us, and we really appreciate that. I absolutely really appreciate that. I try to go in there and answer your questions, even if I feel like I'm wrong. I want to let you know some of y'all have made really amazing comments. I'm trying to get these other two fucking knuckleheads in on the damn deal. I finally saw Loke finally respond to somebody. Proud of you, Loke. Thank you for doing that. But some of you dudes who have left comments on there and subscribed to us, I really appreciate it. Shout out to everybody who's done that. I think 250 is within our reach. Within, I would say, June. June is definitely a 250 subscriber mark.
My answer is please. Please subscribe. That would be great.
30 seconds, boys.
Yeah. Please subscribe. So on to Luke.
Yeah, I would be disappointed if we did not. When you look at our combined numbers for all of our different places, if all of those subscribers would just subscribe to the YouTube channel, we would already be over that number.
Yeah. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
11,
3,
90,
2,
26,
1.
4.
Hey, Happy New Year, boys.
Happy
New Year's to you, viewers. All right, Mr. Producer, get your final thoughts in. We'll close out the stream. This has been amazing. I appreciate everybody who's tuned in to us so far.
Don't drink IPA that fast.
Yeah, you did it right, boy.
We've been seeing some pretty good growth on the YouTube channel. That's where I've been focusing my effort.
It's not gone unnoticed, bud. It really hasn't.
I'm optimistic that we can, with enough social media presence, I think we'll be able to break that 250 barrier in the next year.
Any last remarks from the crew?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, guys.
Fireworks
This year
going
has
off
been
all over the place over here. So
Yeah. This year's been
I
rough
can imagine.
personally, but I'm looking forward to 2024. I hope you guys are looking forward to it too. And thank you so much for listening and paying attention and just being there and being fans. We've been doing this from 2020, dude.
2020, man. I can't believe it. And we just started on YouTube and we're already growing like we are. But
Yeah. Like looking back at those old podcasts, like in your room, just the two of us staring at each other lovingly.
Oh, buddy, there was some gentle caressing that went on too.
Oh, absolutely.
Man, I gotta tell you, coming back from what we did, we survived cancer, we've survived
Lockdown,
we've survived COVID, everything, man. And the fact that we made it to fucking 2024, we're still 4 best friends. Right? You want to hear? Okay, today was the last day of Game On, right?
Mm-hmm.
The shop closed down today. That was
That's
it.
a drink.
That's where that's
That's a
you know
shout
what, that's
out
worth
right
a
there.
fucking drink right there, boys. The game on, man. That's where it all started, and that's my argument and not to get emotional, man. But when I say like I hate watching this game, do what it's done. I watched it. I played this game with you guys for so long, and watching this game slowly die has been hard. It's like watching a loved one with dementia, just or somebody with cancer, somebody just like slowly fade away, and there's nothing you can do about it because it's what's brought us all together. It's how we've gotten to this point where we're at, where we're making this content.
You know what? Another drink, another shout out. Thank you to Mr. Bowshot himself.
You
I'm
know
not gonna
what?
call him Mr. Bowshot, because if it wasn't for his group, I would have never gone.
You know what?
actually,
Not only to that, man, he needs to be tagged in this.
Mr. Bowshot, thank you very much.
We appreciate you, Mr. Bowshot.
Yeah, we won't tell you your real name or anything on the stream, but yes, definitely.
He knows who he is.
He knows
You know
who
who
he
you
is.
are.
But
yeah, actually, that meetup group is the same reason I wound up at that shop.
yeah.
That unfortunately has closed its doors as of today.
And it's because of this game that's brought us together. And
Hey, but rising from the ashes, we got our friends at Phoenix.
oh, absolutely, go
Who
see
are
our friends
still
at Phoenix
going
Emporium. Oh, by
strong.
the way, drink, bud.
Yeah.
All right, I ain't got much left to drink out of, but
Yeah, that was a swig from an empty can. 'Cause
okay. But shout out to those guys. Shout out to everybody, man. A shout out to the people we've lost from this year. Shout out to Ma. I know you're watching down on us, man. I miss you, Ma, already. I'm sorry I couldn't have been there. I'm sorry, Bogle, buddy.
Those who have seen my Facebook post know how shitty 2023 has been for me. But thank you sincerely to everybody who has watched this channel and has liked our videos and has commented. And I'm sorry I haven't been there. It's been a very rough year, but I do plan to be more present, more active, more here for 2024, making content for you. Thank you so much for being here and being a viewer and a listener.
Today is a new day. Today is a day to be great, and you can choose what to be with it. And I can't thank any of y'all enough, man. And the 3 of y'all too, man. Like you're the reason I still do this. When I left to come up here to Indiana, I gave y'all 2 options. I can hand the IP over to y'all, and y'all could take it and run with it and do whatever y'all feel is necessary. And y'all all 3 said, no, we're not doing it without you. We'll figure this out. And then now look at us. We're on
You're the pirate captain. How is the pirate captain and Chef Bolgs and pirate captain shit gonna go on without the pirate captain?
Real simple. You become landlubbers. That's what it'd be.
Chef Bolgs recipes for everything. That's fucking stupid.
It
Chef
sounds
Bolgs
like
and
a
pirate
great
captains.
cooking channel.
Right. We got to have the pirate, or else the whole thing goes out the window.
But thank you, everybody, and thank you everything. Thank you to this game, and thank you. I can't say that enough, man. With that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, follow us wherever you can. You can find us on Facebook, Chef Bolgan, the Pirate Captain's Recipes for Everything. We are very interactive on all our social media, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube. Find us on YouTube. That's actually our YouTube page. This is us on our Facebook page. Find us on YouTube. Like, subscribe. If you find any enjoyment out of this, we really can't say thank you enough. In the last month and a half, we've had tremendous growth because of you. With that being said, say goodbye, Bolg.
Goodbye, 2023. Fuck you.
Say goodbye, Loke.
See ya, 2023.
Say goodbye, Mr. Producer.
Here's